Hare Krishna devotees. We are moving on to the next part of our program is Sunday Feast lecture. Today's class is going to present by Her Grace Pushpanjali Mataji. Everybody knows Mataji is very familiar to our congregation, but it's our pleasure to glorify the devotees. And Mataji takes care of Arati services and book distribution in South Austin and cooking services. She also leads the Abhishekam service on the special occasions. With that, we will welcome Mataji by loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you, Mataji.
We'll start with Yagada Mata. Samanvita will lead us into the Kirtan.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you, Samanvita. We'll do Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय do the verses before reciting Bhagavatam. Together. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye shrinvatam swakatha krishna punya shravana kirtana hridayantyasto hi abhadrani vidhunoti suhritsatam नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामी निति नामिने मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome to Sunday feast. So on Friday was the Tulsi Vivah. So I thought this is a good opportunity to glorify Tulsi Maharani and, here, I mean, most of you would know almost everything that, I may be able to speak today, but it's good to hear again and again. And, if we hear attentively, it might help us in our Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojan, so I'm requesting all your blessings and also requesting, please kindly, hear the glories of Tulsi Maharani. And she's, Sakshat present here also today. I was thinking, whether Tulsi Maharani will be there, and she's here. So, we are trying to get her blessings, and we want to glorify her and know more about her. So, and of course, 45 minutes is not enough to glorify Tulsi Maharani. So, obviously this is not comprehensive, but whatever we can say is to our benefit only. So we'll start with a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.15.19. Okay, sure. Yes. So if you want to pull up 3.15.19, you can, Bhagavatam.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Okay, so in the interest of time, I'll just start once, and then we'll do one here, here, and then we'll hear more. Is that okay? Yes, 3.15.19. Thank you. Mandara kunda kura bodphala champakarna. Mandara kunda kura bodphala champakarna. Punaganaga bakulambuja parijatah. Punaganaga bakulambuja parijata Gandhe chite tulasika bharanena tasya. Gandhe chite tulasika bharanena tasya. Yasmim stapa sumanaso bahumanayanti. Yasmim stapa sumanaso bahumanayanti. Anybody wants to recite here? Prabhu side. Mandara kunda kurabhotpala champakarna. Punaga naga bakulambuja parijata. Gandhe chite tulasika bharanena tasya. Yasmim stapa sumanaso bahumanayanti. One from here. Mandara kunda kurabhotpala champakarna. Punaga naga bakulambuja parijata. Gandhe chite tulasika bharanena tasya. Yasmim stapa sumanaso bahumanayanti. Thank you, Prabhuji Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Although flowering plants like the mandara, kunda, kurabaka, utpala, champaka, arna, punaga, nagakeshara, bakula, lily, and parijata are full of transcendental fragrance, they are still conscious of the austerities performed by Tulasi, for Tulasi is given special preference by the Lord, who garlands himself with Tulasi leaves. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The importance of Tulasi leaves is very clearly mentioned here. Tulasi plants and their leaves are very important in devotional service. Devotees are recommended to water the Tulasi tree every day and collect the leaves to worship the Lord. One time, an atheistic Swami remarked, "What is the use of watering the Tulasi plant? It is better to water eggplant. By watering the eggplant, one can get some fruit, but what is the use of watering the Tulasi?" These foolish creatures, unacquainted with devotional service, sometimes play havoc with the education of people in general. The most important thing about the spiritual world is that there is no envy among the devotees there. This is true even among the flowers, which are all conscious of the greatness of Tulasi. In the Vaikuntha world, entered by the four Kumaras, even the birds and flowers are conscious of service to the Lord. So, very illuminating and very, easy, very fully explained by Srila Prabhupada. We can very easily understand what is the nature of the person who is eligible to enter the Vaikuntha planet. And that main element is no envy. And then, of course, the person should have love for Godhead. So in Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami lists what all we can do to get ahead in devotional service. So he lists 64 angas, and one of them is worshipping Tulsi Maharani. And so we can see in our sadhaka's life, our day begins with the help of Tulsi Maharani. The Mangal Bhog is offered with Tulsi. Tulsi Arati is done in the morning and in the evening. And, without Tulsi, any Nevedyam, we know that, we cannot offer anything to the Lord. The Lord doesn't accept it. So for this, there is one small story. In Rajapur, which is near Mayapur, the deities, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Sudarshan, they were there. But at that time, before the temple was established and all the services were taken care of. Devotees from Mayapur would go to Rajpur. They were thinking, we should at least offer bhoga to, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Maharani, even if you cannot do all the artis and everything. So some devotee, they would, I think, probably take a bike and take bhoga for the Lord and offer it there. So one time when Pujari, he took the bhoga to Rajpur to offer, and, he was setting everything up, and he realized, oh, I forgot Tulsi Maharani. And then he was like, okay, what do I do now? I have all the bhoga, it's not like there is any other alternative, right? Oh, and he wants to offer, right? The Lord should eat. So he's thinking what to do. And of course, in that area, Tulsi plants might be there, but it was a remote place, and, it's thinking, what if something happens? He was thinking, I think it was like evening time or something, or I don't know what, but he was like very hesitant to go out looking for Tulsi is there. So he what he thinks, I'll ask forgiveness for the Lord, and then he makes the offering. He says, Lord, please forgive me. I bought the bhoga, but I forgot Tulsi Maharani. So please accept, please forgive. And, like that, he makes the offering and he comes out. And then after some time, he goes back in and, it's taking the rice plate, and what he sees in the rice plate, there is big fresh twig of tulsi there. So the Lord is teaching the devotee that he does not accept anything without Tulsi Maharani. And sometimes if you don't have fresh leaves, it's said that even the dried leaves that have fallen, even they can be used, washed and used in service of the Lord, because Tulsi is totally spiritual, transcendental. There is no materialism in Tulsi Maharani. Even they can be used if you don't have fresh ones. And if we don't even have access to dried ones, because sometimes Western countries, the weather is severe, it's very hard to keep Tulsi Maharani in certain months. At that time, at least mentally we can offer. The twigs can be used, the stems can be used. Nothing is there, at least mentally we should put Tulsi Maharani in there, because the Lord will not accept it otherwise. And it's also said while offering, we do the achman first, and we also purify the bhoga, right? Because it might, on a subtle level, it can be contaminated. Like we think, oh, I made this, or it's, so many thoughts can come. So we purify the bhoga, and then we put the Tulsi Maharani. Because Tulsi Maharani is transcendental. We don't need to purify her. We just need to wash her and put it. So after we purify the bhoga, the process is there. After that is done, then we put the Tulsi Maharani in the bhoga. So, and then, the devotees, we wear Tulsi Mala, we chant on the Tulsi beads. So Tulsi is our Sakshi, here in the material world, whatever, tapasya, austerity, sadhana we are doing, she's our Sakshi. And when we go back, she'll be like, yeah, I saw this person, he chanted, let them in. So she's our Sakshi, and she's our guide. So, we should do it on Tulsi Mala and on the Tulsi beads. And even a tilak, we put, the tilak for every sampradaya, it speaks about the philosophy of the sampradaya. For example, the Sri Sampradaya, apart from the two lines which represent the lotus feet of the Lord, there is a red line. So the red lines represents Lakshmi Devi. So it says that we go to the Lord through Lakshmi Devi. And then in the Madhava Sampradaya, within the two vertical lines, then they have a black line. So that when they do the yagya, they use the ash from the yagya to make that black line to show that today the yagya has been done. And people who don't perform yagya, they just put the red dot, which again signifies Lakshmi Devi. So for us, we are in the Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya. We put Tulsi under the Lord's lotus feet. So we go through Tulsi Maharani. And our philosophy is Dasanu, 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 Das. So we go through the Lord through his devotees and devotees' servants. That's why we never remove Tulsi Maharani, and that's why it's so important. Everything we do revolves around Tulsi. When we get initiated, new Tulsi beads are given. So the spiritual master is tying us up with Tulsi, beads and presenting us to the Lord. Please accept this, for the Lord to offer, because he sees Tulsi beads, and when the spiritual master is offering, the Lord will like, okay, yes, I will give this person a chance. I don't care what you have done for all these millions and trillions of lifetime. I don't care what all you have done. Now here is your chance. I'll give you a chance to develop your relationship back with me and come back to me. So that is the importance of Tulsi. And so that's why, we're trying to learn, how to worship her. What are the benefits of worshiping her? Who is she? So it says Radharani herself, she is Karunamai, she is compassion personified. There's nothing in her except compassion. And she has 5 agents of her compassion, of her mercy. One is her pure devotees. Second is Krishna's Prashadam. The third is the holy name. Third is the holy dham. And the fifth is Tulsi Maharani. So these 5 agents are, they say they're illogically compassionate. Like, sometimes people will like take offense, like, this person was so sinful, how can this person go back? Like, sometimes people, like Ajamil stories there, he just took the holy name. The same thing, if at the time of dying, if you take shelter of Tulsi Maharani, some way you get in touch with her, and we'll see a little bit more in detail, like, like whole life we have been sinful. At that time also, that person is given a chance, given the blessings, an opportunity to go back. So that's why they are very, very compassionate, and there is no logic to their compassion. And Tulsi Maharani is she's like the deity installed. Like, if we get new vigraha for the temple, after the vigraha comes, they have to be installed. Pure devotees have to come. Pran Pratishta has to be done, and there'll be like at least 2, 3 days, 4 days of festivals for all the different customs and rituals to be done. But Tulsi Maharani, no need. She's herself deity installed. As soon as you have the Tulsi Maharani, you can start worshipping her. Wherever you see Tulsi Maharani, you're getting benefit. So there no Pran Pratishta is needed. And it's said that she is a living pure entity. We are all the time in association with a pure devotee when we are with Tulsi Maharani. So who is Tulsi Maharani? So Tulsi Maharani is actually Vrinde Devi in Goloka Vrindavan. One of our acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he composed this Shri Vrinda Deviyai Ashtakam, also called Vrindashtakam. And in that, in the 7th verse, he says, Tvam kirtyase satvata tantra vidbhir leela bhidhana kila Krishna shakti tavaiva murtis tulasi niloke vrinde namaste charanarabindam. So the meaning is, they who are learned in the Satvata Tantra glorify you, meaning glorify Tulsi Maharani. You are Krishna's pastime potency. The Tulsi plant is your form in the world of man. O Vrinda, I bow at your lotus feet. So here it's said that she is an expansion of Krishna's pastime potencies, Leela Shakti. That expansion is Tulsi Vrinda Devi. And the Tulsi, in what we see in the material world, is her expansion. It's her hair, actually. So in the material world, we see her in the form of Tulsi, and she also manifests as the Kantaki river, where the Shaligram Shila is found in the Nepal region. So we see in Bhoma Vrindavan, who are doing the pastimes are Radha and Krishna, but it's not called Radhavan or Krishnavan, it's called Vrindavan. Why? Because Vrinda Devi is the one who did austerities there, and she did such great austerities. The Krishna was so pleased with her. He said, from now on, this land will be called Vrindavan. This is your forest. And he also blessed that anybody who comes here and when they do austerities, whatever desire they have, I will fulfill. So that benediction also the Lord gave. And then, so one time, Radha and Krishna, they were having an argument, and Krishna was telling Radha, give me tax. And I am the king of this Vraja, I am Vrajaraj. And Radha Rani was like, how can you be Vrajaraj? You are not Vrajaraj. Vrinde Devi, she is Vrindavaneshwari. So you are not Vrajaraj. Then Krishna is like, he's like, if I am not Vrajaraj, you are also not Vrindavaneshwari. So they are having an argument like this. And as Vrinda Devi, when she hears that Krishna says that you are not Vrindavaneshwari, she says, no, from now moment I offer the whole land of Vrindavan at the lotus feet of Radharani. So she gives the whole Vrindavan to Radharani. And, Radharani, immediately she makes Vrinda Devi the guardian of Vrindavan. And, she is one of the in charges of Vrindavan. So, there's sweet loving reciprocation. Vrinda Devi immediately gives it to Radharani, and Radharani immediately makes her the guardian of Vrindavan. So, and this is also written in the 3rd verse of Vrindashtakam. Samasta Vaikunta Shiro Manoshri Krishnasya Vrindavana Dhanya Dhamni Dattadhikare Vrishabhanuputrya Vrinde Namaste Charanarabindam. So this Vrindashtakam is very, very sweet and very, very useful in, reciting to Vrinda Devi is, and, in special months also, anytime, but special months like Purushottam month, Kartik month. So those of us who don't know, it's a good homework to do. Kartik month ended, and sometimes we feel very sad. Oh, the month is over. I wish I had done more. But we can prepare for the next one. We can learn. So many Ashtakams are there which you can recite during this month, and Vrindashtakam is one of them, very useful in trying to worship, already a person who is so compassionate, they don't need for much. just our sincerity and our prayers. So Raghunath Goswami, he wrote in his book, Vraja Leela Stavala, he writes, Vrinda Devi, she is the director, she is the producer, she is the screenwriter of everything that goes on, all the pastimes that are going to happen in Vrindavan. She's called the VIA, the Vrinda Intelligence Agency. You know, which Kunja Radharani is going to go, when Radharani will go, which song will be sung, what kind of climate is going to be there at the time of the pastime, what kind of breeze is going to flow, where the breeze is going to come, what kind of plants are going to be there, what flowers are going to be there, what fruits are going to be there, what bees, bumblebees, honey, deer. I mean, everything she decides, and everything is under her direction, and everything follows whatever Vrinda Maharani she says. So it's also mentioned that, so she has this allotment papers, like, we want entrance into Vrindavan, and she is the guardian of Vrindavan, and she can give us entrance into Vrindavan, which means getting service to Radha and Krishna. So if she decides everything, then, all the allotment papers, everything is in her, so she can give us some service and give us, the eligibility to enter into Vrindavan Dham. And in this book, Vraja Leela Stavala by Raghunath Goswami, he also writes that Vrinda Devi, she wears blue-colored sari and very nicely ornamented, and her complexion is molten gold, just like Radharani. Vrinda Devi's complexion is also molten gold. What's the significance of molten gold, gold color? Complexion, yeah, but what is the significance of compassion? No, yes, compassion, love. Yeah, because Radharani is like pure love. Vrinda Devi is also pure love. And Vrinda Devi, she has one disciple, and that disciple's name is Daksha. And he is a yellow-colored parrot. And that Daksha, he has 1 lakh disciples. They are also all parrots. So all these parrots, they have their advantage, right? They are from the high vantage point. They'll go in Vrindavan. They, from their top of the trees or top of the poles, they see everything. They are like the spies and the messenger carriers. They see where is Jatila, where is Kutila, where is Madhumangal, what are they doing? And they have all the information. They pass messages, they collect information, and, and then they give it to the Daksha, then Daksha gives it to Vrinda Devi. And that's how they, play all these pastimes, because they know who is where, what are they doing, and and so that's how all the pastimes are orchestrated in Vrindavan. And Radha and Krishna, they meet all the time in Vrindavan, like in the early morning they meet, and then after breakfast they meet again. And that they meet at the Gupta Kund. So that is, certain things are like decided that after breakfast, they will meet at Gupta Kund, which is near Pavan Sarovar, and that Pavan Sarovar is near Vrinda Kund. So how many of you have been to Vrinda Kund and Shri Vrindavan Dham? Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, so Vrinda Kund is very special. Vrinda Devi is there herself as a deity manifested. And, go there, and the Vrindashtakam you can recite, you can do the Tulsi Arati, Tulsi prayers, whatever you know. And there is a Vrinda Kund outside, the actual Kund is there. And our Japamala bead, devotees, they take there and they put the Japamala bead in the Vrinda Kund. And that's how you get the blessings of Vrinda Devi. And you see the difference in your chanting. After you go to Vrinda Devi, ask for her blessings and put your Japamala in the Vrinda Kund. And the Vrinda Kund is a little bit further away, so you have to plan for it. It's not very close by. You have to take a taxi and go. So plan for it that, at least half a day, let me keep, or, a couple of hours you will need. So please go there and, visit Vrinda Devi and get her blessings, and, try to ask her for the blessings to improve our chanting, and see what happens. And so in the morning, Radha Krishna, they meet near this Gupta Kund, near Pavan Sarovar, which is near Vrinda Kund. And in the afternoon, they meet near Radha Kund. And in the evening, they meet near the Radha Govind temple. And these 3 places are called the Yoga Peeths. So these places are also under the control of Vrinda Devi. So whatever pastimes, whatever services are to be done, they are under Vrinda Devi's control. So, we need to worship Radharani and Vrinda Devi, for to get ahead in our devotional service. The pranam mantra for Tulsi Maharani, Vrindaya Tulsi Devyaya Priyaya Keshavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavate Namo Namaha. So this translation is, I offer my obeisances to Vrinda, the Tulsi Devi, who's very dear to Lord Keshava, the giver of devotion to Vishnu, and the truthful one, Satyavati. So we know this one. But the point that I wanted to talk about was, it's a Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi. Sometimes devotee, they'll be like, should we say Vishnu Bhakti or should we say Krishna Bhakti? I want Krishna Bhakti, so should I change it? You know, what our senior devotees, they say is, we should recite the mantra as it is. And Tulsi Maharani, she knows what we want. If we want Krishna Bhakti, she will give Krishna Bhakti. If we want Vishnu Bhakti, she'll give us Vishnu Bhakti. But we should recite as it is given. And then even in Tulsi Arati, you know, the such high conjugal prayers are there, you know. Kunje Divas Diyo, Yehi Karo Abhilasi, Sakhi Anugat Karo, Seva Adhikar Diye, you know, Radha Govind Premesh, you know, Sada Ye Nabhasi. It's a very high conjugal prayer. So sometimes people say that in ISKCON, you know, other sampradayas, where Raganuga Bhakti is preached from the beginning, they say in ISKCON, you know, Raganuga Bhakti is not there. But we begin our morning, you know, in Tulsi Arati. These are all conjugal prayers. So Raganuga Bhakti is also there in ISKCON, in the system that Srila Prabhupada has given us. And, you know, the Pradakshina mantra, Yani Kani Chapapani, Brahmahatyadikani cha tani pranashyanti pradakshine pade pade. Sometimes people will say, oh, some very high conjugal mellows, are we coming down to Karmakanda? You know, the Pradakshina mantra means that as every step we take, when we circumambulate Tulsi Maharani, all sins are destroyed. Even the gravest sins and grossest sin like Brahmahatya. Killing somebody itself is so worse. And on top of that, killing a person, a Brahmana who is on the path of self-realization, is considered so worse. But even just by one step that we take in circumambulating Tulsi Maharani, even Brahmahatya sin is removed. But some people say, you know, are we coming from this high conjugal mellows to Karmakanda? No, it's not Karmakanda. Worshipping Tulsi Maharani, worshipping Gangai Devi, they're all pure devotional service. And that's a complete package. When a person comes to the path of bhakti, they don't need to do Karmakanda separately. Nothing extra. You just come here, everything is taken care of. Krishna says, you know, surrender unto me and I will take care of you completely. We don't need to do any karma kanda stuff, anything else separately. Everything is there. So that is the meaning that, you know, whatever fears if we have, oh, I'm so sinful, maybe I need to go worship some other demigods and all, then come to Krishna. No, all those thinking, nothing is required. Just follow the procedure that Srila Prabhupada has given for us, and it's a complete package. There's also one story in the Puranas, they're like true Brahmanas, and their names are like Harimeda and Sumeda, and they were in Kashmir, and they wanted to go for pilgrimage. So am I speaking too fast? A little bit? Okay. So they go for pilgrimage, and they're going through a forest, and there in the forest they see tulsi plants. So this Sumedha, you know, he immediately falls on the ground, he's doing Dandavat, and he offers prayers to Tulsi Maharani, and he starts glorifying Tulsi Maharani and prays to Tulsi Maharani. And Harimeda, he doesn't know about Tulsi Maharani. He's like, why is he bowing down to a plant? So then when Sumedha is done, he asks him, you know, can you please tell me why you were offering obeisances to the plant? And then he's like, okay. Then he thinks, you know, the Sumedha, that I need to tell him about Tulsi Maharani. He doesn't know. So he said, okay, let's find a place to sit. And then he starts glorifying Tulsi Maharani, starts telling her a lot of things. Like one time he tells her that, you know, how Tulsi Maharani, one time she manifested. So when the Sagar Manthan happened, there's like so much of hard work and struggle, right, on both the demons and the demigods. And finally, the pot of nectar comes, and the demigods also, they're like so happy seeing the pot of nectar after so much hard work. And they start, you know, crying. And the Lord is also so happy that the nectar has come. And one tear falls from the Lord's face, and that one drop that falls in the pot of nectar, from that drop, Tulsi Maharani manifests. So that is one kalpa. And different kalpas, different stories are there for different manifestations. This is one of the stories, and the story is also the Brahmana is telling to his friend, and then he also tells other things. uh, just by seeing Tulsi Maharani, just by touching her or offering obeisances or watering, one can become pure and free from all previous karma. So these are all the things that the Brahmana is telling. At the same time, there is a big crack in that banyan tree, and that tree just splits, and like these two personalities come out, and they are like two Brahma Rakshasas, and they offer obeisances to these Brahmanas, and one of them he says that I was a Gandharva and my name was Astika. I was throwing flower garlands on the Apsara. But that one garland, it fell on the Loma Rishi, and he got upset and he cursed me. And then when I asked him, how I can be delivered, he said that when you hear the glories of Tulsi Maharani, that time you will be freed. And this other Brahma Rakshas, he says that I was a disciple, but I did not follow my guru's orders. So I was cursed, and that's how I became a Brahma Rakshas. But today, by hearing the glories of Tulsi Maharani, I have been freed. So that story is there in the Puranas. There's another story. In one time in Vaikunta, Saraswati Mata, she got upset with Tulsi Maharani and said something. And now this is a transcendental pastime. We should not try to understand it from our material platform. So Tulsi Maharani, she leaves Vaikunta and she comes to Bhuloka. And then Vishnu also, he leaves Vaikuntha and he comes looking for Tulsi Devi, and he's searching for her, and he comes to Vrindavan and he's calling for Tulsi Maharani, and he cannot find her. And then she starts calling her by this 1008 names. And out of these 1008 names, 8 names are very important. You want to hear them? Then we'll recite it also. Vrindavani, Vishwapujita, Vishwapavani, Pushpasara, Nandani, Tulasi, Krishna Jivani. So the meanings are almost apparent, but I'll just read once more. So, when we recite them, we should know their meanings. Vrinda means the goddess of all plants. And it also means that appears in bushes. Vrinda Devi, like if you see Tulsi Maharani, she appears usually in groups. There are a lot of bushes will be there in collection. So that's Vrinda. Vrindavani is the one who first manifested in Vrindavan. Vishwapujita is the one that whole universe worships her. It's not just like, Vaishnavas are worshipping Tulsi Maharani. Generally people throughout, you'll see in India where there is knowledge, everybody worships Tulsi Maharani, Vishwapujita, Vishwapavani. So she purifies the three worlds just by her presence. Wherever she is there, she just purifies the entire place. Pushpasara, she said the topmost of all flowers, without whom Krishna does not like to look upon other flowers. When I read this, I was like, oh my God, we've been making garlands for the Lord and we, don't put one bunch of tulsi. So it means he is not really accepting. And I know it's hard because we cannot use needle for Tulsi Maharani, right? So I was thinking that if we take one bunch of Tulsi Maharani and how we put the baby breath, right? We just hang the V shape, like that V shape. If we collect one bunch of Tulsi Maharani, at least one bunch we can put in one garland, maybe at the center or in the top where, when we make whatever design we have, at least one bunch of small Tulsi we can put without using needles or anything, so the Lord will look upon the flowers and accept the garland. So that is Pushpasara. Then Nandini, she gives happiness to everyone. Tulasi is coming from the word Tulana. Tulana means comparing, and Tulasi means the one who has no comparison. That is Tulasi. And Krishna Jivani she's the life and soul of Krishna. And she's the life and soul of Krishna, and Krishna is the life and soul of Tulsi Maharani. So we'll recite one more time. Vrinda, Vrindavani, Vishwapavani, Vishwapujita, Pushpasara, Nandani, Tulasi, Krishna Jivani. So it's said that if anybody who chants these 8 names while worshipping Tulsi Devi, they will get the same result as if they have performed the Ashwamedha Yajna. And one who on the full moon day of the Kartik, that's Friday, the full moon day of the Kartik, and the one that came in the beginning, the Sharad Purnima, the full moon day of Kartik, they worship her with this mantra. They will break free from the bonds of this material world full of birth and death, and very quickly attain Goloka Vrindavan. So it's said that on the full moon day of Kartik, Lord Krishna himself worships Tulsi Maharani with these 8 names. And says that one who remembers this mantra will very quickly attain devotion to Lord Krishna's feet. And this is written in Gita Mahatmya and Tulsi Devi Mahatmya of Padma Puran. And I'll tell you one more secret. So not just worshipping Tulsi Maharani with these 8 mantras. If you take Tulsi leaves and if you dip it in chandan, the proper, I don't know what kind of real chandan or fake chandan people sell in the store, but get a chandan stick and on that pata, just rub the chandan, get chandan, take tulsi leaves, dip it in the sandalwood, and when you offer that to the lotus feet of the Lord, even if you don't have vigra, you can offer it to the picture. It's the same thing. When you offer tulsi leaves dipped in sandalwood, and while reciting these 8 names, you will become a Mahabhagavata devotee. It's because Krishna likes this name so much. Krishna likes Tulsi Maharani so much. So just do this one simple thing. You can do every day, or, Ekadashi devotees have the habit of offering 108 Tulsi leaves dipped in chandan. So just remember these 8 names, dip tulsi leaves in chandan and offered it to the Lord. The Lord is so pleased. He's already pleased when you are using Tulsi Maharani to worship, but just these 8 names and sandalwood, and that's it. You become a Mahabhagavata devotee very soon. And there is this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 3, 104th verse. Tulsi dala matre na jalasya chulukena va Vikrinite swayam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsalaha. Translations and purports by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Krishna, who's very affectionate towards his devotees, sells himself to a devotee who offers him merely a tulsi leaf and a palmful of water. So this verse is from the Gautamiya Tantra. It just says, if a person doesn't have anything, sometimes people say, oh, for bhakti, so much is needed, you need to do this. No, bhakti is very simple also. Generally, everybody can afford tulsi leaf and a palmful of water. Just offer tulsi leaf. We'll have the tulsi plant outside, we'll have the vigraha or the picture inside, but we don't connect those two. Just take tulsi leaf and offer it to the Lord. Just with a little bit of water. Ganga water is not available. Regular water is also fine. Put tulsi leaf and offer it. The Lord is so pleased. He says, I self myself to that devotee. What more do you want? The Lord of the whole world. He sells, I sell myself. Just one tulsi leaf. What does it take to please Krishna, right? So this is so very simple. And sometimes we focus so much on the vigraha, look at the garlands, their dresses, and this and that. And Tulsi Maharani will be outside neglected. There'll be cobwebs, where she is, the place is not clean, not taken care of properly. So Tulsi Maharani should be given a lot of importance in our sadhana. So I'm going to talk about some more benefits of worshipping Tulsi Maharani, and these are from the Brahma Vaivarta Puran and Mahashiva Puran. So it says that one who waters Tulsi every day, in that house, Yamraj never enters. Now, what to speak about entering that house? It does not come anywhere near that house. And it says that if even one person in the household is worshipping Tulsi Devi, and in that plant or all the plants, how many ever leaves, stems and twigs are there in that Tulsi plant, that many family members and ancestors will go back. Imagine that I was saying the illogical compassion. This is what it is. Only one person is worshipping, but how many? They'll see, oh, so many leaves and twigs and stems and all that many family members and ancestors, they go back just by one person taking care of Tulsi Maharani. Then Srila Prabhupada, he quotes in the Skanda Puran in Nectar of Devotion, he says, simply by seeing Tulsi plant, touching her roots, all diseases and distress and mountains of sins of past life are destroyed. Darshanei pavitra karo, yei tumhara gun. So sometimes, even if sometimes so many, usually Mataji's will say a lot, my husband is not devotional, he is not, doing anything. He doesn't need to do. You just have Tulsi plant in your house. Even if he sees the Tulsi plant, he'll get the benefit. Sometime or the later, when that person's ready, then they will take up. But just by seeing Tulsi, the purity is happening. By wearing Tulsi mala, when the water falls, touching the Tulsi, it's as if we are taking bath in the pilgrimage. So, and anyone who plants Tulsi and sows the seeds anywhere, that person is guaranteed to go back home, back to Godhead. So that is the benefit of planting and sowing tulsi. And if you have extra, you can also distribute tulsi. But take care to see that the person whom you're giving tulsi has the inclination to take care of her, because especially in the Western countries, weather is severe. If they neglect it, then that is not good. Some they are devotees, the practicing devotees. Yes, you can go, and if Tulsi Maharani has to leave the body, it's not our fault. But it's a good practice to help other people have tulsi in their house if they don't have it. And it says that by offering one tulsi leaf to Krishna, one gets the benefit of offering all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the flowers, and all the water bodies that are there in the world to Krishna. Just by offering one tulsi leaf, Krishna says, oh, you have given me everything, all fruits, flowers, veggies, everything you have given just by giving one tulsi leaf to me. And it's also said that offering one tulsi leaf is equal to offering 1 million cows in charity at the right place, at the right time, and to the right brahmana. And when one offers washed tulsi leaves, that benefit is more than offering 10,000 horses in sacrificial arena. So I think so much benefit is there just by offering tulsi. And says that one who dies with tulsi in hand becomes sinless and goes back to Godhead. And if somebody puts tulsi leaf in their mouth, or tulsi water also, the water in which tulsi is there, and that's been offered to the Lord, that person will never enter material world ever again. And it says that in one tulsi, all pilgrimages, all tirthas are present in one leaf of tulsi itself. And when we are circumambulating the tulsi plant, it's equal to going to all the tirthas and circumambulating there. And said all the demigods that reside at the root of the tulsi. The celestial beings, they are at the middle of the tulsi. And the Vedas and the Puranas are at the top of the plant. So worshipping tulsi, circumambulating, equals taking care of everything. That's why bhakti involves everything. Everything is already included in it. And if somebody does a Shraddha ceremony in a Tulsi forest or in under the Tulsi shade, if you're not able to go to Gaya, if you're just doing it under the shade of a Tulsi tree also, that is equivalent to going to Gaya and doing Shraddha ceremony there. And if you offer Tulsi and Mahajal, the jal that has been offered to Krishna with Tulsi, that jal, whether it is regular water or Ganga jal, when you offer that jal and Tulsi to the ancestors, they become so satisfied that as if they have been fed for 10,000 years, because you don't know what the next generation they are going to do any Shraddha or not. But if you can do this one time also, they become so satisfied that as if they have been fed for 10,000 years. So that is the benefit of doing Shraddha ceremony. So we see, spiritually, Tulsi Maharani very uplifting and purifying, but materially also, Tulsi Maharani gives a lot of benediction. If somebody is very poor and if they start worshipping Tulsi, then they get wealth. If somebody doesn't have a child, then they get child. If somebody is very diseased, they can get good health. And somebody is not married, then they can get a spouse. And it says that not only all your sins are burnt, but whatever the vows and charities and austerities, like people generally do accumulate so much from previous lifetimes also, right? Even in your previous lifetime, if you don't have any punya, you have not done any vow, any austerity, any charity, when you are worshipping Tulsi, it's all those credits are put into your account as if you have done it. So that much benefit comes from worshipping Tulsi Maharani. So we'll talk about Garga Samhita in Canto 2, Chapter 15, text 37 to 39, and also Chapter 2, text 1 to 39. It talks about a pastime between Tulsi Maharani and Radharani. So Radharani, one time she was speaking to her Sakhi Chandranana. This Chandranana, she was a direct disciple of Garga Muni. So from Garga Muni, she directly heard all the Vedas and Puranas. So she was a direct disciple. So one time Radharani is asking Chandranana, what do I do? I want to, have pure love for Krishna. I want to, to be able to control Krishna. So Chandranana, she says that from all that I have heard from Garga Muni, I can say that worship Tulsi. And she says, gives her the vratam, the mantra, and the process procedure. And then Radharani, she's worshipping Tulsi Maharani for 6 months. Diligently, she just does the whole thing, the vrata and the mantra and the whole puja, everything for 6 months. At the end of 6 months, Tulsi Maharani, she appears in a Chaturbhuj roop. She's wearing blue sari and very nicely ornamented, and she's very happy and she's smiling, and she hugs Radharani and she kisses Radharani, and she asks, Radharani, you have done this mantras, completely perfectly well, and you yourself are the Aladini Shakti of Krishna. But what can I do for you? You're doing this to set an example, set an example for people like us. How what is the importance? So she said, what can I do for you? And Radharani says, I want pure love for Krishna. And Tulsi Maharani says, yes, tathastu, and she touches her head and blesses her. So Radharani is also setting that example for us to worship Tulsi Maharani. And it said that, in Vaikuntha, Lakshmi Mata, sometimes she has to leave Vaikuntha because she has so many devotees, and to give them blessings, sometimes she has to leave Vaikuntha. But Tulsi Devi, she never leaves Vaikuntha, and she said that Tulsi Maharani is more dear to Vishnu than Lakshmi is. And in Vrindavan, in the Kamyavan, the Vrinda Devi, she is there. So, at the time of the Mughal invasion, lot of the deities from Vrindavan, they were moved to Jaipur and other places. And so devotees, they came to Kamyavan and they wanted to take Vrinda Devi also to a safe place. So when they reached Kamyavan, it was night. So they stayed that night in Kamyavan. And the next morning, they are just preparing to take Vrinda Devi, and they're lifting it. She's so heavy, nobody could lift her. And then they realize she doesn't want to leave. She never leaves Vrindavan. Vrinda Devi, she's always there in Vrindavan, and she's always arranging the meetings of Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna, they would have met once, and then Krishna was like, I want to meet Radharani again, and with more eagerness and more enthusiasm. Like, what? You just met, right? I mean, we cannot understand that. We live in a world where there is law of diminishing marginal utility, but in the spiritual world, it's inconceivable. With more eagerness, next time he wants to meet, and just 8 minutes back only you met, right? No, like that. Continuously, they, this meetings and pastime she arranges, and she's serving all the time, and all the time, she is busy in their service. So that is her position. And even what we have heard, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Advaita Acharya, he saw the situation of the world. The people didn't have pure devotion, no interest in devotion. So, he wants to call the Lord, and what he does, simple thing, just offering Tulsi Manjari and Ganga Jal. That way he just calls the Supreme Lord to come, personally. Just a simple method, to the Shaligram Shila is offering the Tulsi Manjari and Ganga water. And then there are other stories also in Srimad Bhagavatam. Because in interest of time, I'm not stopping. I was supposed to ask you, and I know you will say it, but I'm just running through it. Haridas Thakur, Ramachandra Khan, gets very envious of Haridas Thakur, and he wants to, make him fall down. And so he sends this prostitute to him, and his intentions are very bad. Haridas Thakur, he knows everything. He could have just left, but then he wanted to deliver the prostitute. He says that, okay, so the prostitute, when she comes outside Haridas Thakur's house, she sees a Tulsi plant. So she offers obeisances. Then she comes in. She offers obeisances to Haridas Thakur also. And, and she puts her request. Haridas Thakur, I have my chanting to do. You wait, I'll talk to you after that. So he chants 192 rounds, which takes 21 hours. The whole day is chanting. So, and she's just sitting and waiting, and she will chant also. And then she did nothing to do, right? So she did service also. She picked up the leaves that had fallen, the Tulsi leaves she picked, the young manjaris and the leaves she plucked, and she kept it for Haridas Thakur to offer. And 3 days, she's just hearing this pure devotee chant, and she also starts chanting. At the end of 3 days, her heart is changed. She says, I want initiation, please initiate me. And so what did she do? Offer obeisances to Tulsi Mara. And she did little bit seva to Tulsi. She offered obeisances to the Haridas Thakur, heard the Naam. And what instruction he gives? Same thing. You worship Tulsi Maharani and chant Harinam. That's it. She becomes such a great devotee. But other big devotees, they come to visit the lady. So that is the simpleness and the greatness of this process, just serving Tulsi Maharani and Harinam is enough. And the same thing is there in the Mrigari story. Narad Muni, it is talking, Mrigari, he has a change of heart. He was like, I want to change. What should I do? The Narad Muni says, break your bow and arrow, go live, make a small kutir in the forest, just have Tulsi Maharani on a raised platform, circumambulate her, worship her, chant Harinam. Same thing, only two things: Tulsi Seva and Harinam. That's it. But we are not at that level where we can do this all the time. That's why we need services. We need variety of things to do. But the process is that powerful. So I'll just talk about a few do's and don'ts. It's said to offer, the tender manjaris, the ones that have become very big. Those are not the best things to offer. So what we do, if we have tulsi plants, we should always be looking for it. And as soon as a manjari comes, we should pluck it and offer it, because all the manjaris on the tulsi plant, they said the plant is pregnant over and over again and again. So it drains the energy of Tulsi Maharani. So we should not leave the manjaris there. Whenever we see a young one, pluck it and it should be offered, preferably with sandalwood to Krishna. So the young, tender manjaris should be offered. And it's also said that, we should try to ask forgiveness first, because the Tulsi is the hair of Vrinda Devi. Imagine if somebody is pulling our hair all the time. So we should not unnecessarily pluck Tulsi and waste it. If they become dry or if they're extra, we can store it. Like in winter time, sometimes we won't have fresh Tulsi, because even if you try to take care of it, Tulsi Maharani will shed all the leaves. That's a defense mechanism of the plant. So, if you don't have fresh ones, then we can use the dried ones. But we should at least try to see how much we need, that much we should try to take, offer obeisances, ask for forgiveness, and with one hand hold the plant and, nicely pluck it, So be careful, be gentle with the plant. And it said that one should not tell lies in front of Tulsi Maharani. It says if somebody tells lies in front of Tulsi Maharani, that person will go to Kumbipak heaven for 14 lifetimes of Indra. And same thing for Shaligram also. It's like one lifetime of Brahma. How big is Brahma's lifetime? That lifetime one will go to hell if he tells lies in front of Shaligram Srila. So Tulsi Maharani is deity, in front of deity. Shaligram, we should not tell lies. I mean, should not generally tell lies. But, even sometimes we think in terms of preaching, we can tell some lies or this and that. In front of deities, please, we should not. And Tulsi Maharani is not offered to demigods. Then we should never offer it to any of the demigods. Even she's not offered at the lotus feet of Radharani. We can put it on her hand to offer it to Krishna, but Tulsi Maharani is put only at the lotus feet of Krishna. And Krishna is anywhere, in his hand, in his garland, head, anywhere we can put Tulsi, but not for demigods or any other personality. Okay. So I want to end with one pastime. This pastime was written by Grupa Goswami. So, we see, right, how much service Tulsi Maharani does. So Krishna feels very indebted to Tulsi Maharani. And then Radharani also saying that, how Tulsi is always busy. She's serving them. She's making arrangements for them all the time. And she wanted to reciprocate with Tulsi. She was like, what should I do? And then she made a plan. Then she and the Sakhis, they got together and they got a very big throne. And then they made Tulsi Maharani sit on the throne. And Tulsi Maharani, she didn't suspect anything. Then Vishaka Devi, she went and she got Krishna. They made Krishna sit on the throne beside Tulsi Maharani. Then Lalita Devi, she became the priest and she started doing a marriage ceremony. And she started reciting the mantras and doing all the rituals. And that is how the wedding of Tulsi, Vrinde Devi and Krishna was performed in the spiritual world. So 12:45, right on time. So I'll stop here and thank you so much for listening very attentively, and I hope Tulsi Maharani blesses us all and forgives our numerous offenses and lack of devotion. So Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Time is up.
Yeah, good question.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Pushpanjali Mataji. Very nice class. You've got so many things and very new. Majority are new to me.
It's good that something is new also, because our mind's tendency is to think, I know this. So whether we follow it or not, we don't want to hear it also. Yeah, you have a question, Mataji?
Yes. What if she comes on the ground like by herself, like even we didn't plan it to plant her?
Yeah, so she will come if already the manjaris were there, that the seeds, if they fell in the ground, then automatically she will come. So that's why we should take care of the manjaris. Like we were mentioning, when the manjaris start coming, when they're tender only, they should be plucked. So that will help because in India also we see the weather is also very tropical and very favorable. So much tulsi plants will grow that sometimes they are not taken care of properly. Because they need to be taken care of. So if we take care of the manjaris at the plucking, that will take care of that. And if she comes and manifests that time, we can do whatever is in our capacity to take care of her. And then I know if you try to remove it from the stem, sometimes she will not survive and bring it in, right? At that time, whatever is in our capacity, there are those blankets that are available. What are they called? Landscaping people, we use it, right, to cover the ground with those blankets to prevent from the frost and the freeze. I'm not remembering the name, but I will tell you that name. So we can use those blankets to cover. But Tulsi Maharani is very delicate. She will not survive the US winters, even in Texas. So if you can take care of the manjaris, that will take care of that situation, Mataji. And then we can plant her in pots where we can take care of her. Pushti Karuna Mataji and Prabhu, they have a very nice, if I may say, these are very nice things we can learn from devotees, how to take care. They have an indoor greenhouse. So wonderful. And you can ask them for more information, so whenever we have the pots, good weather, take them outside below 60 degree, inside there are so many lights that replicate the sunlight, those with the lights or with the greenhouse or in a warm place, we can try to bring her inside and try to take care of her that way. Yeah, so that will help whatever in our capacity. And then in future, we should be careful where Tulsi Maharani will come back. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You said that, like Tulsi cannot be offered to demigods, but like could Tulsi still be offered to like Rama or Vishnu?
Yeah, all the Vishnu tattvas she can be offered. Vishnu, Narayan, Rama, Narsimha, all the expansions of Vishnu, she can be offered. Only Vishnu tattva, not demigods.
What about Shiva?
No. Shiva, he likes specific things. We can offer what he likes. What's the bay leaves? Yeah, and so what he likes, those things can be offered to Shiva. Nice question. Daksha. It's not the same Daksha from Mahabharata, that's the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's not that same Daksha. This parrot's name is also Daksha, but he is Tulsi Maharani's, Vrinda Devi's disciple. And the parrot is yellow colored. There is one yellow colored parrot over there. I'm not saying that one is Daksha, but something for us to remember things, So it's sometimes it's the aspirations of devotees to be the disciple of Daksha, to be able to serve Tulsi Maharani. So that's why we tell these stories. Whatever your aspirations, however you want to, have your Swarupa. We'll take one last question there. We're getting late for Arati.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Comment. Wonderful class. It's actually much needed. Rasa Bihari Prabhuji, actually we were talking once like we kind of need class about the Tulsi Mata, Tulsi Maharani, how to take care actually, and then some basics also. So it's really important to have Tulsi Maharani, as you mentioned, in Grihastha's home. If we are devotee, that's one of the must-have thing, because doesn't matter we are initiated or not, we tend to offer something to Krishna, right? And quite often we see devotees don't have Tulsi leaves, even dried, and they offer without Tulsi leaves and they ask for others. So it's good to learn to have Tulsi Maharani, because once we have it, then we start at least watering her every day, even a spoon, 1 or 2 teaspoons, right? And then we start worshipping her. And Tulsi Maharani worship is one of the main key element in our devotion. So wonderful class, Prabhuji, Mataji. So many informations, so many So it really helps all devotees. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's very useful that that you mentioned that even if we feel that we're not ready for devotion, we are always ready for Tulsi Maran, because we need compassion. We all need compassion. And we heard just offering one Tulsi leaf to even to a picture of Krishna, how much unlimited benefit. And Tulsi Maharani will prepare us, because Krishna is there in our heart. We are also, that is our constitutional position, to be, Krishna's servant. It is there. And Tulsi Maharani will just remove that dirt. She'll remove the things that are blocking us. The sins are removed. The obstacles are removed. We just pray to her. She can give us anything. She can remove all the obstacles and, help us proceed on the path. And materially, spiritually, all kinds of benefits are there just for worshipping Tulsi Maharani. So yeah, very nice point, Prabhu. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, very nice class. I have got lots of tulsis at home still, and I've got many seeds. Whoever wants tulsi, just bring a pot. I've got a manure. You can plant it in the pot, and you can take it for your home. And for next season, if you want any seeds, I've got many seeds of tulsi.
So yes, Harinam Amrita Prabhu is our seed source now. So yeah, devotees you can always ask for. And thank you, Prabhuji, for offering. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for nicely enlightening us and the glorifying Tulsi Maharani. It is very enlightening and very encouraging us to do that seva to Tulsi. With that, we are moving on to the next part of our program, Arati, Kirtan by Kimberly. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, Kimberly is on the way. In that time, it can just a minute. Let it start.
We're just waiting for Kimberly. Second mic over.
Let it Mataji speak.
Come on, start. Tamanida, can you start? Only Mataji comes, you can start. She's on it.
She's in a minute, bro. She's already here. Start.
Nam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine
Krishna Prashaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Dashakanine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dashakanine
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gora Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Bolo bolo Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo bolo. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nita Gora Haribo, 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 Nithai Gora Haribo. Nita Gora Haribo, 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 Nithai Gora Haribo. Jaya Gauranitai Jaya, Gauranitai Jaya, Gauranitai Jaya, Gauranitai. Jaya Radha Krishna, Jaya Radha Krishna, Jaya Shri Radha. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
जय नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की, इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की, वृंदावन धाम की, मथुरा धाम की, नवद्वीप धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, इस्कॉन ऑफ सेडर पार्क की, गंगा माई की, यमुना माई की, तुलसी देवी की, भक्ति देवी की, संकीर्तन यज्ञ की, बृहद मृदंगा बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्रोग्राम की, बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्रोग्राम एंड प्रसाद डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्रोग्राम की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की, गौर प्रेमानंदी, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज, all glories to assemble devotees, all glories to assemble devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaurang. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahlad Daine.
Prahlad Daine.
Purvakshaha.
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha.
Shilathankana Kalaye.
Shilakankana Chalaye.
Hitona Simha Paratona Simha.
Hitona Simha Paratona Simha.
Yatoya Mitatona Simha.
Yato Yamitona Simha.
Simha, Dahina Simha,
Bahir Narsimha, Hidaya Narsimha.
Simham Vadim, Saranam Prapade,
Narasimha Vadim Saranam Prapade.
Tavakara Kamala Bhagini, Naka, Habuta Shinga, Dalita Hiranya Kashipu, Nanubinga, Keshavadrita, Narahari Rupa, Jaita Gadisha Hare, Jaita Gadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Javakara Kambala Hare, Lakha, Abhuta Shinga, Dalita Hiranyakashipu, Tanubinga, Jagadeta, Hare Rupa, Jaya Gadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita, Narahari Rupa, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Narahari Rupa, Jai Jagadisha Jaya Narasimha Jaya Narasimha Jaya Narasimha Jaya Narasimha
Jaya Narasimha Jaya Narasimha
Jaya Paramara Jaya Paramara Paramara Jaya Paramara
Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jai Nishim Bhagavan ki Jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai.